welcome to another episode of
Nerd Out.
I am Mandy. Man, mine was like I was pointing
you
to the
wimped out.
sky.
Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah, no, it's good. Look, we don't often do movie reviews,
but we should.
But we should do more, and maybe we will. But we both recently saw the movie Mandy.
And I gotta give you credit, man.
Yeah,
that's all on you. I didn't hear about it. I knew shit about it.
Yeah, no, I was hearing all the buzz. Mandy is a movie directed by what's his name?
Pan Cosmatos.
Good job.
Son of George P. Cosmatos.
Yes, which I want to say is he is the most interesting IMDb listing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He only directed 11 movies in like the last 4 or 5 decades. And it's really weird because he did Tombstone, which happens to be one of my favorites.
That's his hugest movie
great
ever,
movie.
probably.
Yeah. No, First Blood Part 2.
Yeah, I'd say that's bigger.
No, Tombstone. Tombstone is
both.
Yeah, they're both big.
Yeah.
He did Cobra with Stallone.
Yep.
And then that's all I remember. But this is over 3 or 4 decades.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there. But what's his name again?
George P. Cosmatos. He's well respected. He just doesn't do a lot.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's great.
I would like to go and read more about him. If he's fascinated. But so this is his son, and he directed a movie called Beyond
the Black Rainbow.
The Black Rainbow in 2010.
I thought it was a really good tribute to David Cronenberg.
Or like David Lynchian. Would you say that?
Yeah, it was very. I liked it.
Yeah,
a lot,
you were familiar with it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it until after I saw Mandy, so I can't really talk too much. And I didn't even finish it yet, which I will. So I can't really say anything about it, except for I have recently watched some of it, and it is out there. Like, this guy is like an artistic filmmaker.
Loves Red.
He loves Red.
Loves Red, man.
Yes.
I think George loves Red too, man. Those guys love the Red.
Yeah.
And I'm all for it, man.
But Mandy is a movie with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage is one of those actors that has done so much shit that it makes you forget about how many good movies he did.
Yeah, and that's what I like about him, though. Like I like that he's not snobby. He'll take a chance. He'll do some bad movies.
He'll do Con Air in order to do adaptation.
Yeah, but a lot of people would argue Con Air is a bad movie.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true. That's he did The Witch.
Exactly. Yeah. The Wicker Man.
Ghost Rider, which
are guilty pleasures for a lot of people.
But then he did movies like Raising Arizona,
which is awesome.
I really like. This is a weird one, but I really like Peggy Sue Got Married.
Never saw it.
Really? His performance.
The Rock.
Oh yeah, The Rock.
Rock.
His performance in Peggy Sue Got Married is really unusual, and that was my introduction to him as a kid. And I always liked him for that. And he did adaptation, and he's done
Las Vegas.
Dude, that's a tough movie to get through.
You know what? I've never seen it. I've seen parts of it, but I don't need that shit in my life. Dude, I'm not into that.
That is depressing.
Yeah.
Same thing with, which I like this movie, Bringing Out the Dead, the Scorsese.
Yeah, that was good.
I liked it too. I think it's underappreciated because it's Martin Scorsese, and I don't know that necessarily it's Scorsese's best movie, but I really liked it. But then Nicolas Cage has done he's done so much bad. Anyways, I think he's back to form here. The story is simple. Is this spoiler? Do we have to spoil? I mean, it's getting hard to do this.
It's sort of you can't talk about it.
Yeah, you can't.
But
so
it's a revenge.
It's a revenge story.
So
we're gonna have to deal with spoilers. If you want to watch this, you're gonna have to deal with it. The plot is as simple as can be. Literally, a guy's wife gets murdered by a band of acid tripping.
Christians.
Motorcycle
Christian people.
I mean, they weren't Christians. They were religious cult.
I thought they said in it that they had.
Well, they did have crosses.
They referred to them as something as like that.
Well,
maybe not.
They were like
a religious cult on fucking acid.
Yeah, like Charles Manson type guys.
I feel naked without her.
Dude, I mean. It was come on. It was this movie is a trip.
Yeah. Over the top. In almost every way, which is awesome, especially for Nicolas Cage, because
that's how you want to see him, right?
Yeah, I want him in tighty whities and his shirt, freaking out on the toilet.
Dude, I would buy that tiger shirt he wore.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I would wear the shit out of that. That could get me back into tighty whities, man. You know, but
no, it was fantastic. It's like 2 movies in one. The first half is sort of just trippy colors.
Yeah.
And then the second half is just like absolute like destruction and violence and like saws and shit like that.
I loved how everything was like, I don't know, that it was like painted rainbow.
Yes.
Or it was, like the color in it was like, what the shit? And it's like, it wasn't here.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, well, I mean, it was 1983. Like, it felt like a post-apocalyptic Reagan.
Yes. And I think that's what it was supposed to be, sort of.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, you know, like growing up in the 80s, like heavy metal and Satanism all kind of went together. This movie was like a heavy metal Satanism movie. Yeah. And they even like referenced a lot of like metal bands and like, it had a lot of synth music, which was great. I
love that.
I do too, man. I gotta be honest. I'm back on the synth kick, you know, with all the synth directors.
I love it in movies like that's what I love that. Like, I love the 80s, and now they're making 80s movies that are better than in the 80s.
Yeah, in the 80s.
And I love it. Absolutely. I love that about it.
And that's what this was, right?
I think so.
But this was certainly like, I'm going to say this. This is the type of movie that there is no in between. You either love this movie or you hate it. Yeah. There is no like, I sort of liked it. There is none of that. And I expect that there's a lot of people who are going to respond and say that I watched that movie and it was the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. And fine.
And you're allowed to think that, but we would probably disagree on a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Because like you have to be into this kind of movie and appreciate it. And I mean, it was over the top gore, and that's a lot of fun for me. But it wasn't tasteless. It was like they could have really focused on what this group did to his girlfriend, and they didn't.
I'm glad
they didn't. Meaning, I don't like shit like that. But I like it like when it focuses on like what our hero does to the bad guys. Right. And they don't wimp out on that, and that was great.
Yes, and I think that they really explored the characters without even having to say a lot. Like, I mean, you kind of like it felt like there was a lot of character development, and
almost too much. Oh, I thought a little bit. I thought it was a little bit. I thought it like took too long for it to get going.
I think it did too, but
maybe on a second viewing.
Yeah, I started watching it again, and I was into it because it is like two movies. One way I determine whether I like a movie or not is if I want action figures from the movie, and I absolutely wanted action figures from that movie. A Red Miller, like the customized axe that he made, is just spectacular.
And that was like felt like Conan. When they made it, it was like almost Excalibur style, like it meant something. It looked
like one of those weapons you'd buy at a flea like a trade center, like a flea market, like those like sword dealers. Like it was just the biggest, most ridiculous axe ever.
And I liked I don't know what to call them, the ghouls, demons.
The motorcycle tripped out like
weird things.
Yeah,
like I love that. I love it when they have shit in a movie that's like undefined.
Yes,
like totally. You don't know what the hell it is, but it was cool and sort of scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when they went to see again, I don't want to over discuss specific things, but when they went to see the guy who made the drugs, that was fantastic. It was like a scene that could have been edited out and it wouldn't have changed the story, but because they left it in, it made it a better movie.
Yep. And then where he went and got his crossbow.
Yeah.
That was the best secret.
Should we just spoil that? I mean,
I don't know. Now we'll save. I don't know. Should we?
Yeah, we have to because I have a question for you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So he goes to see a guy in a trailer park to get his like weapons back, and it happens to be Bill Duke from The Predator.
Gotta love that.
Gotta love it. Now, what was Bill Duke's character's name in The Predator?
Oh man!
Because I watched it again. And I think it's the same.
What is it? Tell me.
I can't remember, but like I think it might be worth you.
Can I look it up?
Yeah,
I'll look it up right now.
I want to know if it was actually. I saw it in the credits and I was like, holy shit, was that their intention?
I'm
looking. But he looked great.
Yeah, I mean Predat.
Yeah. It's gonna pull up. It's gonna pull up the new Predator.
Okay, so here we go.
Bill Duke.
What do you think it was?
I can't remember.
Mac.
Oh, okay. It wasn't. It wasn't. I was kind of hoping that would have been like an interesting nod, but I mean, have you?
They paid so much homage to shit. I loved it. They totally paid homage to a Blue Velvet.
Where did you see that?
When he got all stoned out, like, "Don't look at me! Don't look at me!" He was just like Dennis Hopper
I didn't notice that. I mean, it definitely David Cronenberg. I saw a lot of David Lynch in there. And I like those kind of movies, and I don't think they're for everybody, but they're certainly for me, and I love that movie. To be honest with you, I think it's, since Blade Runner 2049, the best movie I've seen yet. Since that time. I can't think of something that
I can't remember what I've liked.
That's tough. But that's
I liked it a lot, too. I really enjoyed the shit out of it.
Me too.
I thought it was good.
I highly recommend. Like, the thing is I think you need to watch it, even if after you watch it, you tell us that we are idiots and that it was the worst movie.
Yeah, watch it and don't like it, but watch it.
But watch it.
I mean, you know?
Absolutely. And I think for that reason alone, I mean, it has to be appreciated. Like, I think it's interesting.
But I think a lot of people like their movies more on a silver platter. They want their good guys to be solid good guys. They don't want it that dark. You know?
You think so? I think the anti-hero is pretty popular, and I think he was a good guy. He was just, it's a revenge movie. Like, the thing is the plot can't get any more simple than this.
No.
It really couldn't. It's just like, it's just the stuff that they incorporated into it, and the way that it was filmed and the storytelling.
And I mean, it was dark. He had to drink a bottle of vodka to work up the nerve.
Oh my god, that scene was great.
That scene was great.
Do you think that was like? Do you think a lot of it was Nicolas Cage just like leaving him alone and just letting him do his thing?
Letting the cage rage out? Probably. Probably.
The cage rage. Like, I didn't hear that before until this movie. Like,
well, I was reading about it.
Me too.
And somebody said, was like, yeah, you know, and Nicolas Cage, I guess, got, like, he's very serious about the cage rage. It's like, it's very planned out.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's very in control of it. And I thought it was sweet. I think this was a perfect role for him.
Absolutely. And here's something interesting. I guess that when they originally came to Nicolas Cage about this movie, he wanted to play Jeremiah, which was the cult leader. Which is interesting because I knew that before watching this movie. And when I watched the actor playing Jeremiah, I can't think of his name right now, I apologize. Like, I could picture, like, how Nicolas Cage could have done that. But I like how he ended up playing the main character.
Yeah, and I like Nicolas Cage as a good guy. I'm sure he could play a villain, but like...
I agree. Well, what movies has he played a bad guy in?
I don't know. Lord of War, but I don't think I've seen that.
I don't think I've either. I agree with you. Like, I think he has that...
There's like this sort of innocence to him. It's just like, I wouldn't...
It's his eyes, man. There's something about the eyes.
Yeah, he looks like a good guy to me.
Yeah.
Just like...
I will say that up until this movie, I can't say that I had a whole lot of respect for Nicolas Cage, except for the fact that he has done some excellent movies, and he's also a huge comic book collector, which I always appreciated that. It was wild. It's a wild movie. This filmmaker, like, I'm excited to see what he's gonna do next.
Yeah, because I think his next... Well, it feels like he's still getting his house in order of how he wants to do stuff.
Right.
And that's not criticism. It's just like, I think his next movies are going to be something stellar. Like, I think he'll be... I think he's going to do some really good stuff.
Like, I watched most of Beyond the Black Rainbow, and I think this movie was more... was better constructed than that.
Me too.
And I would like to see what he could do next.
I think he's going to be... I mean, I'm sure he's well respected now, but I think he's going to do something with himself. A lot.
Do you think it's going to take another decade before he does something?
I hope not. I hope not. But I would imagine, I mean... Look at his first movie. He got Nicolas Cage in his second movie.
That's true.
I mean, I think his third one might, you know...
No, you're right.
I hope he doesn't do Hollywood stuff, because I like his stuff now.
Do you think, though, I think you can do Hollywood stuff and still be a talented director, though. Like, would you consider Denis Villeneuve like a Hollywood director, or is he still an art director?
It's a good question.
Like, who would you consider, like...
You're right.
Who went... I'm trying to think of, like, who in Hollywood was an art director who's not seen... Oh, Tim Burton would be a good example. I don't think he's doing... I think he's become Hollywood. Like, I don't think his movies have the same artistic quality that they used to.
I hate to say it, I've never been a huge Tim Burton fan.
Really? See, Beetlejuice,
Pee-wee's
Big Adventure.
That didn't do it for me. And I know they're good. I was just like...
It wasn't your thing. What about Batman? Were you a Batman?
Yeah, I love Batman. Batman.
Edward Scissorhands?
Nope.
No? See, I was a big fan of Tim Burton.
Didn't like the other one he did. What was it? About the killer?
The Killer.
It was, oh, come on, man. It's got a really cheesy name to it.
Oh, Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd.
I didn't like that either, but that was based on like I don't think that was his movie. But like when I think of his movies, I think of Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, you know, that kind of stuff. And I was a fan, and I was also a fan of it because I like Danny Elfman music a lot. Like so, like they sort of went hand in hand. But I can't think of the last movie of his that I saw that I thought was good. That I thought like they all felt like they were almost like characters of a Tim Burton movie. Like I don't know, but nevertheless, he would be an example of a Hollywood, like an artistic director, someone who I would give artistic credit to, who just went Hollywood. But you know what? I think as you get older, though, and maybe you struggle less, maybe your art suffers for it.
Yeah, I think so, because all this stuff is, like, created out of necessity.
Yes.
Lack of resources. Like, creativity comes from having to think up a way to do it, because you don't have resources, and that's usually what comes out on film is the best part of it.
I agree 100%.
You know?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that shows best on, like, a movie like Star Wars A New Hope.
Yeah,
like
because...
Yeah,
I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But, like, when they did the prequels, it took something away. Like, Star Wars was good because it was low budget, and they took all this shit out of the real world and put it together in a way that made it look like it wasn't our world. Right. That's what was so good about it.
Absolutely, I agree. It's tough, though, today, because I don't want to be anti-CGI, but with the ability of having CGI, you can you can visualize something. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you can visualize something and translate it exactly how you see it in your whatever into.
Yeah, you can actually create your. You don't have to compromise on what you think up. You can just do it.
And sometimes I think it's the compromises that create such an amazing product.
Well, yeah, because you make things that everybody can understand.
That's true.
Or like there's just certain things in CG that you can watch it, but it's still unbelievable. Like it just doesn't. Like the spaceships in Star Wars and the original ones, they were real. They looked real. They had scale to them, and it's just, it's like when you CG, it's like
when you want to do like an 8-tentacled creature with 8 tentacles, like in Han Solo or whatever, it looks like a creature with 8 tentacles. But if you like have to use your imagination to create this beast, it looks so different.
Yep.
And
I think when your imagination, I think people's imagination fills in CG. Like it doesn't look real.
Yes.
But it's real enough that like your brain. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's hard to describe. I think there are a few directors who really utilize CG in a good way. Like I think Guillermo del Toro actually utilizes CG in a really, really creative way. And obviously there's others, and I do think that CG is important.
Its place.
Yeah, it's got its place.
Yeah.
I just think that it's I do like practical effects, and I'm not like making some original statement. People.
I think most people prefer practical if there's a choice.
Actually, I don't know, man. I don't agree. Like I think I have to imagine being in the mind of
It's a double standard for me because I prefer practical. But I can see a movie with bad digital effects and see right over it.
Yeah,
and I watch the movie and not hold it against it.
Right.
And it's like, but it's a discipline.
Yes.
I have to be able to turn it off and watch. Like,
the only aspect of CG that I think ultimately like mixing the two together is what works best. But the only thing that I think is absolutely like unacceptable to use CG is blood. Like I think blood does not translate. I think that's what not ruined. But that was my biggest complaint about the Stephen King It movie is the CG blood. Like, first of all, I don't think CG blood is necessary. Like, I think that's something that they can do practical, inexpensive, and make it work. But CG blood just looks like CG blood.
Yeah, and I mean, gore.
Yes, gore
needs to be physical.
I agree.
Even if it doesn't look real, it being physical just makes it real.
I agree.
Like if you look at all the 70s old zombie movies, they don't look real, but it's still gross.
It's like so gross. Like when they
squish shit. Yeah, it's like it does not look real, but it's gross, and that's what's great about it.
Absolutely. It's like when you were a kid. Like, do you ever make home movies where you would like make horror movies and you would just take like kitchen shit and just mash it up? It's just disgusting, and like it works, and it always works. And with that said, this movie didn't have a whole lot of CGI that I remember. But if it did, it totally. I don't think it was about.
It wasn't about that.
Yeah.
If anything, they filtered it to do lighting and stuff.
Yeah,
and whatever. Go for it.
Definitely. My final statements is this thus far, unless Blade Runner 2049 came out this year, is my movie of the year, and I'm going to tell you going into this, you are either going to love it or hate it. There will be no in between, and I don't know how to prepare you for it. Like, it's long and there are some slow parts, but how do you prepare someone for this?
I just get ready for a slow burn that's pretty to look at, and you know, I mean.
It's going to be memorable, if anything.
Yeah.
I loved it. So, until next time.
Nerd out!